Hello, you beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of the Soulful Self-Development Podcast. Today is part 2 of Living by the Moon. In this part, I'm going to go over each of the zodiac signs that the moon moves through and talk about how you may feel when the moon is in the sign and things you should and shouldn't do when the moon is in these different energies. So as a reminder, the moon rules our emotions, and each sign that the moon moves into will have a different effect on our emotions in a different way. The moon moves into a new sign every 2.5 days, so we are constantly flowing through these 12 energies within a month. And I like to, when I write out my calendar for the month, write out which days the moon is in each sign. It helps me to feel more in tune with the energy as it changes, and just helps me to feel more organized. Even if I don't follow it to a T, if I'm having a day and I'm feeling maybe more angry than usual and I realize that the moon is in Aries, I'm like, oh, okay. Or if I'm feeling very overly emotional and deep and overwhelmed, maybe the moon was in Scorpio, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't necessarily base my entire life off of this. I just like to use it as a tool, and I want to share this information with you guys because I find it very, very fascinating, and it has actually helped me a lot in my journey in understanding these different energies and just seeing the patterns of how the energy ebbs and flows. And it's in a constant cycle. We go through the 12 signs in a year, we go through the 12 signs with the moon every month, and we are a part of these cycles. We are a part of nature, so I do find it very helpful, and I hope that you guys will too. First up is Aries. So when the moon is in Aries, you may feel fiery, passionate, impatient, and aggressive. When it's a good day to move your body and be courageous. If there's something that you need to do that you need a little extra courage for, that's a good day to do it. It's also good to do something or work on something that you're really passionate about. So tap into those passions. Tap into that fiery energy. If you're not naturally a very fiery person, then take advantage of the energy of your emotions on these days to be fiery, to tap into that, to use that side of yourself. So some things that you may want to avoid when the moon is in Aries is being quick to anger, starting a fight, and also impulsively reacting to people and situations. It's a very impulsive energy and quick to anger. So we just want to keep in mind that these energies may be heightened within ourselves and also within other people. So maybe somebody's being aggressive or impulsive towards you. If you understand that the moon is in Aries, then maybe you're a little more understanding as to why they're acting that way. I'm not saying let people be angry and impulsive towards you, because that's not good, but we can be a little empathetic towards like, oh, right, all of our emotions are heightened. So I'm going to try to not get in a fight with my significant other because we're both feeling a little more aggressive today than we usually would. Next is Taurus. When the moon is in the Taurus, you may feel grounded, sensual, stubborn, or romantic. It's a good day to connect with the earth and the physical plane. So go outside, spend time in nature, and then also just like tune into your physical life, into your body, into your physical space, things like that. Anything in the actual physical realm. It's a good day to be in tune with that and see what you need. It's a good day to allow pleasure to be your guide. So do something that makes you feel good. Do something that you love. Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty, and it's a little bit of a materialistic sign. So, do something, buy yourself something nice. Something like maybe like a fuzzy blanket. Wrap yourself up in a fuzzy blanket. And it's also a good day to feel sensations and pleasure in the body. So it would be a really good day to get a massage, practice some self-love, especially physical self-love. If you can't go for a massage, give yourself a massage, oil your body, things like that. So you may want to avoid overindulging in your comfort. So this may be food, spending, watching too much TV, whatever your comfort thing is, avoid overindulging in that because that can be something that you feel like you want to do. Also, avoid being a bull in the china shop. So this is kind of one of the shadow sides of Taurus's energies. Like Taurus is a bull and it can be very calm and grounded and chilling in the meadow. But if you put a bull in a china shop, it's going to break everything around it. So just be aware that you're not like fighting with all these things around you. And also avoid being too materialistic. So you can tap into like the healthy side of being materialistic, of like, you know, buying yourself something nice. But don't try not to care too much about the physical. There is a line there of like balance. It's like everything in the physical is not the most important and it's not everything, and we don't want to, you know, have these nice things and think that makes us better than somebody else, things like that. So just avoid those energies as they might be heightened on this day and might be things that come up for you. Next is Gemini. When the moon is in Gemini, you may feel communicative, full of ideas, scattered, and social. It's a good day to learn something new. So read a book, research, network, or even listening to a podcast. It's a good day for information. You may want to engage in intellectual conversations with peers, friends, family, coworkers, whatever that may be. It's a good day to have conversations, be open-minded, and just ask a lot of questions and learn. That's what Gemini is, the forever student energy. So it's also a good day to socialize with friends. So if you and your friends are trying to make plans, maybe try and schedule it on a day that the moon is in Gemini. It just the energy. Everybody's going to be more chatty. Everybody's going to be ready to socialize versus if the moon is in, say, a water sign where it might be a day that you feel you need to recharge and everyone kind of wants to stay home. It's not going to have as many benefits as if you were to do something social when the moon is in Gemini. Things you may want to avoid: verbal arguments. Geminis, I'm Gemini. Sometimes I love to argue. Because I have so much information, I'm like, nope, hear what I have to say. So avoid verbal arguments. Also, being overwhelmed with too many ideas or too much information. When you're consuming a lot of information, there is a line where it's too much, and then you're just over consuming, and then you're actually not taking in the information that is beneficial to you. If you give yourself way too much information in a day or in a short period of time, your brain's not going to absorb it all, and it ends up kind of being a waste of energy if it's just going in one ear and out the other. And also avoid overthinking and becoming insecure. When there's a lot of energy in the mind, when our minds are very stimulated, it can be very easy to start overthinking everything, which then often leads to us feeling insecure. Like, did I ask a stupid question? Do these people even care what I have to say? Blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on and on. So just, if these feelings come up, remind yourself, oh, the moon's in Gemini. Maybe ground yourself and just remind yourself that, oh, I'm just overthinking this. It does not have that much significance. Next is Cancer. When the moon is in Cancer, you may feel emotional, intuitive, caring, nurturing, and possibly needy. It's a good day to connect to your emotional needs and reflect on what you need. You may want to stay home, recharge yourself, and nurture yourself. So tune in to your emotions, to your feelings, and what do you need? Do you need to journal and get things out? Do you need to rest your body? Do you need to eat a good, healthy meal for your body? What is it that you need? Just tune in and really honor that. And it's also a really good day to connect with water. Water really helps us to process emotions. And on a day when the moon's in Cancer, it's a very good chance there are a lot of emotions coming up for you. The Cancer is ruled by the moon. So when the moon is also in Cancer, it's emotion overload. Okay? So things might be triggering for you. You might have something happen that makes you feel all these emotions. So use that to your advantage. Know that the moon's in Cancer. Know that there's a reason these emotions are illuminated and coming up, and take the time to process them and do the healthy things like journaling, going to therapy, talking to somebody, a trusted friend, and getting these out, or just taking alone time for yourself, separating yourself and just giving yourself time to process on your own can be very beneficial, especially when the moon's in Cancer. Some things that you may want to avoid on these days: taking everything too personally. When we are feeling a lot of emotions, it can be really easy for us just to think that everything that's happening is happening to us. We can get too attached to the emotions, and then we actually don't end up letting them go. We end up holding on to them, and it just only makes it worse. So don't take everything so personally. Try to see the lesson and the blessing in things versus the why did this happen? This happened to me, blah, blah, blah story that we like to tell ourselves. I know we all do it. So another thing you might want to avoid is letting your emotions consume you. So this is, again, very similar. When we feel these emotions, especially big, uncomfortable emotions, this doesn't necessarily happen so much when it's like joy and love and gratitude, but when we're on the low side of the frequency scale for emotions, like fear. Say you have the emotion of fear and it's coming up and it's really overwhelming. It can be really hard to not just focus on fear and continue to feel fear, and then that feeling of fear just overconsumes you, and then you're actually feeding it energy, so you're feeling more fear versus saying, hi, fear, I see you, I feel you, I hear you, I understand why I feel this emotion, and I'm honoring that, but I'm going to choose to put it down. And I'm not going to carry it with me anymore. So thank you for what you've shown me, but thank you, goodbye. And then move on, because then it can't overconsume you and your energy. So just be mindful of that. And another thing to avoid is holding on to energy, people, and emotions that are holding you back. So fear could be used for example again, but let's use people for an example. Say you have a friend, and this friend is maybe no longer serving you in your best interest. Maybe it's time that you need to grow apart and go your separate ways. And the moon is in Cancer. You're feeling triggered by this friend and how they make you feel. Honor that, okay? You don't have to be friends with them forever. We are meant to outgrow people and change, and we're never going to create change in our lives. We're never going to create different realities for us if we're holding on to the same things forever, including friends, including emotions, including energy. Even physical things also hold energy. So, it can be time to let it go. Don't hold on to things, because some things can feel comforting, but just because it's comforting doesn't actually mean that it's serving you. And in the energy of Cancer, you may want to feel comforted, like that is part of this energy, but you need to be able to step back and look, like, is this comforting me in a good way, or is this comforting me and prohibiting me from actually moving forward? And like, you cannot really move forward if you don't step out of your comfort zone. So also just keep that in mind. Next up is Leo. Leo, when the moon is in Leo, you may feel playful, confident, egotistical, and can possibly be a little arrogant. So these are good days to be confident and let yourself shine, okay? Honor how amazing you are, right? Leo is ruled by the sun. So tune into that sunshine feeling. You are glowing from the inside out. And you are here to shine. Focus on your talents, your gifts, your abilities that, make you feel like you shine, make you feel like you have a purpose, make you feel like you are so awesome and confident in your own skin. Tap into that energy when the moon is in Leo, because it is there to help you. It's a really good day to play and connect with your inner child, so do something fun. Do a cartwheel, okay? Everyone should do a cartwheel when the moon's in Leo. I love cartwheels. They're so much fun. And why do you feel like you're 4-year-old and have no care in the world? I don't know. But that's just what happens. So do something to connect with your inner child. It could be whatever you like to do as a child. What was your fun thing to do when you were a child? Maybe it's painting, maybe it's drawing, maybe it's going and playing on the playground, maybe it's playing a sport that you played growing up, something like that. Just really connect with that inner child. And another thing that is helpful when the moon is in Leo is connecting with the sun. So I like to imagine feeling myself glowing from the inside out, and actually going out in the sun is also really beneficial. Just feeling that sun beat down on you and feel it like charging your battery, charging your confidence, charging your inner sense of self. And also, it's a good day to be courageous. So if there is something that you need to do that you maybe need a little more courage, a little more confidence to do, it's a good day to do that because you have a little extra of that energy on your side. Some things that you might want to avoid: feeding into your ego. Leos can be egotistical. It is about you. Like, the energy of Leo is very much like, this is me. I am a lion and I will roar. And that is powerful. But if you let it go too far, then you're letting your ego drive, and that can just cause all kinds of problems. It is also good to avoid being self-centered and arrogant. Sometimes when we maybe tune into ourselves a little too much, we can forget about the emotions and needs of others a little bit. We can feel a little self-centered, and we may end up acting a little bit arrogant. Sometimes it's not even on purpose. It's like, I want to say innocent. It's not like you're like, I'm actually way better than you, and in that kind of attitude, but more of like I've just been focusing on myself and feeling so good about myself that I may just be a little too self-centered at the moment. One more thing that you want to avoid when the moon's in Leo is being bossy and telling other people what to do. The energy of Leo is very much a leader energy, and though this is powerful and good and we love that, there again is a line of being too bossy and just commanding people to do things for you isn't gonna work out well in the end. It's okay to be a leader and want to guide people and help people, but nobody likes being bossed around. Okay, so next up is Virgo. When the moon is in Virgo, you may feel ready to organize your life. You may feel logical, judgmental, and you may want to overcorrect others. So it's a good day to cleanse and clean your space. You may want to organize your belongings as well as your calendar, organize your life. You may be wanting to clean underneath your couches and wipe out all your cabinets, because Virgos love to be organized and just very structured. It's also a really good day to complete responsibilities that you've been avoiding, especially if you don't naturally have a lot of Virgo energy in your own energy, and you're maybe not the best person at being organized and structured and have everything organized. So if there's something that you've been avoiding, use this energy, this burst of energy that you're getting feeling this way, to accomplish those tasks. Some things that you might want to avoid when the moon is in Virgo is being judgmental towards yourself and others. So maybe you start judging yourself like, oh, I cannot do this, I'm not organized, blah, 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 blah. I need to be better at cleaning my house, I need to be better at all these things. Avoid that, because that's just a little extra Virgo speaking. And also don't do it towards others, okay? We're all on our own journey, we're all on our own path. There's already a million thousand things that we're expected to do that 90% of them are unnecessary and ridiculous. So have some grace with yourself, especially when you're trying to get things organized. Don't be angry that things are not organized. Just say, hey, I'm doing the best I can. I'm going to take the next 2 days to sit down and organize what I need to organize. And I'm proud of myself for taking the time to do this. And then do it. And then move on. Because being judgmental and then putting that pressure on yourself just isn't good. And it's going to end in anxiety and worry and all these other things. Another thing you want to avoid is overthinking everything. Similar to Gemini, because they're both ruled by Mercury and they're both very mind-stimulating energies. So we don't need to overthink. Virgos love to overthink. And sometimes we just need to not think, we just need to do. We need to take the action, we need to get it done. Just do the organizing. Don't worry about how you're going to organize it. Just start doing it and it'll come, And then the last thing you want to try to avoid, which ties into this, is perfectionism to the point of paralysis and procrastination. So if you are so worried about getting this done, organizing, blah, 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 cleaning, whatever it is, we sometimes can get to the point of thinking this has to be the most perfect, the most beautiful, the most precise, whatever it is. And we put so much pressure on ourselves that it has to be perfect that we end up getting ourselves to the point of procrastinating. And it can go even farther to the point of us being paralyzed and not being able to do anything because we're so worried that it has to be perfect that we don't want to do it, because what if we do it and it's not perfect and then we don't live up to the standards we have for ourselves, which are usually extremely unrealistic. So just if you're starting to feel that way, just remember, oh, hi, yes, the moon is in Virgo, and I'm just going to take a step back and I'm just going to do the best that I can, and whatever I do is perfect because I'm a creation of God and that's perfect. And it doesn't really matter in the end. So the next energy is Libra. So when the moon is in Libra, you may feel balanced or wanting to create balance, charming, beautiful, and there's a chance that you may be a little indecisive. So when the moon's in Libra, it's a good day to create peace and harmony in your life. So maybe there is a fight or something in your life that has left you feeling maybe a little uneasy. Use this energy to help create peace and harmony in your life, because that's all Libra wants. Libra is the scale. It's trying to make that balance. So, maybe you have to apologize, or maybe you need to reach out to somebody, or whatever it is. It's a good day to create that peace and harmony within your life. It also can be within your life. So maybe there's an aspect of your life that you've been spending all your energy on and neglecting another aspect of your life. Take that time to focus your energy on the aspects that you've maybe been neglecting to create that harmony and peace within your life, if that makes sense. We want to create balance within our lives. That's literally the goal of Libra. So, do that by going to the gym. If you're going to watch a movie and relax in the evening, make sure that you go to the gym in the morning. If you're going to eat dessert, make sure that you eat a healthy supper. Things like that to create balance in your life. You may want to focus on that, or even just get that organized for your life for the next while. And it also can be creating balance in work and play. It also can be creating balance within your relationships of spending time with your significant other, but also making sure that you have alone time, things like that. It's also a really good day to feel beautiful and to get dressed up and practice some self-love, because Libra is ruled by the planet Venus, which is the planet of love and beauty. So it's a good day to feel beautiful, to feel comfortable in your own skin. So wear your favorite dress, do your makeup up nice, do your hair, whatever you like to do to make yourself feel a little extra beautiful. Do that when the moon's in Libra. Embrace that feeling of beauty. Tell people that they're beautiful. All those things. Spread the love, spread the beauty. Things that you might want to avoid when the moon is in Libra is being indecisive about what you truly want or need. This happens because Libra's energy is trying to create that balance. So sometimes we end up neglecting the things that we need because we're trying to create balance for somebody else. We're taking away things from ourselves to make somebody else happy so that scale's balanced. But in the end, that scale's not going to be balanced. So yes, we can be indecisive, but we don't want to do that, because when we're indecisive, then at some point we're going to have to make a decision and the scale's going to tip again. So just be confident in the decision you make. And if whatever's on the other end of the scale doesn't balance, then maybe that is what needs to change. Maybe you have a partner and you just can't find that balance, And that's okay, but maybe that's just not the partner for you. Maybe you're not doing things for yourself because of this partner. Trust me, been there, done that. And sometimes you just have to see that, oh, this is not balancing my scale. This is not complementing my energy the way I wish it would. Also, avoid not taking care of yourself to please others. So this is, again, similar, but in a way of not taking care of ourselves. So sometimes we're putting all of our energy into somebody else in order to make them happy. And again, like you have to fill your own cup first. You can't fill from an empty cup. So don't avoid those things you need to do for yourself in order to try and fill somebody else's cup, because you're never going to have that balance. You're going to feel so depleted and you're going to feel miserable because you have no gas in the tank, no love in the bank. So you got to find balance there and take care of yourself. It's a day for love. Do things that you love. Tap into the things that you love. Self-care. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. And then share that love with others. Also, avoid lacking self-awareness, especially when it comes to needing everything to be balanced. So sometimes, again, we are so worried about other people that we are forgetting about ourselves. We need to be self-aware. We need to know what we need. We need to make those decisions for ourselves because, again, if we're depleted, the scale is just never going to balance. Or if it does balance, it's going, as soon as you fill yourself back up, it's going to be unbalanced. So don't balance your scale from being empty, because that's just, you're just cheating yourself of all these things that you deserve, really. So keep that in mind, especially when the moon's in Libra. It's about love. Love yourself. Look in your love life. See all the things you love. Do things you love. Love, love, love. I love love. I will Libra rising. Okay, next up is Scorpio. So when the moon's in Scorpio, this is probably the one I struggle with the most, honestly. You may feel very deep. You can be jealous, obsessive, and you can actually be very in tune with everything around you to the point of feeling psychic or actually being psychic. We all have psychic powers. It's just if you know how to tap into them or not. So it's a good day to tap into and follow your intuition. So if you like to play intuition games of like, I'm going to let the whole day lead my intuition lead my whole day. I'm going to make all my decisions out of intuition. This would be a really good day to play that game. It's also a really good day to dive deep into your emotions and feelings. And they are there. The feelings are deep. The feelings are big. Emotions are rising. This is going to be, it's not the same as Cancer, but they are both water signs. So it is similar in that way of like emotions are coming up for us. But these ones are deep. These are the deep down dark depths of ourselves is Scorpio. These deep emotions that we have been shoving down, the things that we probably try to avoid about ourselves, these are the things that are coming up. That's why this moon can feel really tough, really overwhelming, and it can be really easy to be jealous and obsessive of other people because you're feeling all these big deep things about yourself, probably a lot of them insecurities. So when we see somebody else, it's easy to become jealous, thinking that they have it all together, but really they're going through the same internal battles that you are for the most part, or their own internal battles in their own way. And so don't be jealous because you don't know everything about everyone. And they're going through what they need to go through to learn what they need to learn, and you're going through what you need to go through to learn what you need to learn. So jealousy can be actually very powerful in teaching us things in our life, but it can be very dangerous when we just focus on, I wish I had that, I want that, why can't I have that, blah, 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 blah. And you're not just appreciating what you do have and using what you do have to teach you and learn and grow. And becoming obsessive as well. So if you get to be so jealous to the point of excessive, you can hyperfixate on people, wishing you had this, wish you had that, thinking that things are going to be a certain way and then being overwhelmed when it's not. So just keep that in mind. It's also a really good day to push past your limiting beliefs that have you stuck. So this is a day is linked to your subconscious mind as well, not as much as Pisces is, but we're in the deep, we're in the programming, we're in these limiting beliefs. So it's a really powerful day to push past that. So tell yourself, like, I am limitless. I can do anything. And I have all these gifts, talents, and abilities, and I'm going to rewrite my story the way that I want to write it. I'm going to tell myself the story that I want to happen in my life, and I'm not going to listen to these limiting beliefs telling me that I'm not worthy enough, telling me that I can't do it, things like that. Things you want to avoid: bottling up your emotions and avoiding them. Don't we all love to do that? Because it's easier to just push it down to the deep dark depths and forget about it. But guess what? The next time the moon's in Scorpio, whoop, that's coming right back up. So we want to avoid bottling them up and avoiding them because they're just never going to go away. They're going to stay there. They stay in your energy. They affect your entire reality until we deal with them. So don't avoid them. Also, we want to avoid holding on to resentment and jealousy. I did mention this earlier. So we don't want to hold on to that because it's only going to make our problems worse. We need to deal with what we got going on instead of wishing and hoping we were somebody else, because you know what? You are you, and that's amazing. And in this life, you are meant to be you because you're meant to have this experience. And the next life, maybe you will be them. Maybe you are them, or live a very similar life to that, and that's fine. But right now, focus on what you have going on. Focus on what you need to learn, and just love who you are and love what you need to learn and this life that you get to live, because it's beautiful and it's precious, and it's each and every one is special and unique in their own way. So don't let this life pass you by because you're wishing you were living this other life. You would have chose that life if that's what you needed. Also, avoid being devious and manipulative. Scorpio's energy can be very manipulative. It's deep, it's intense, it's very emotional. So we don't want to use these emotions and feelings to, manipulate somebody into doing something, into feeling a certain way. If we're feeling all these emotions about somebody, we call them and make them feel bad about blah, 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 blah. No, just do it for yourself. Next, we have Sagittarius. When the moon is in this sign, we may feel adventurous, enthusiastic, optimistic, and we may be a little blunt, but that's okay. It's a good day to go on an adventure and explore something new. It's a good day to take action where you feel inspired. So if you're feeling like you need to do something, take action on it. Do it. It's a really good day for action because Sagittarius is the warriors. They are ready to take action. They are ready to take charge. They are also the teachers. They are the opposite of Gemini, so they have all the knowledge for the Gemini learning energy. So gather your knowledge that you have. Write it down. Explore that. Teach it to somebody. It's also a really good day to define your purpose, what you want to do with your life, and reflect on what you want your future to be. Mostly career related. This has to do with information and ideas and work and purpose, but it can be other aspects of your life as well. So what do you want? What do you want to do? Sit down, figure it out. If you're not already in your career and have this very confident feeling of what it is that you want to do, but maybe you're also reevaluating, you're, looking in and saying, this is working well, but this isn't, so I'm going to try this instead. But don't be afraid to define your purpose and go after it, because we need to follow our purpose in life, and all of us have our own unique purpose. And I think a lot of people in this world are not living out their purpose because they were told they can only do A, B, C, or D if they want to be successful, but that was the biggest lie ever told. But that's just what we grew up with. That's just the way that it was. So yes, we want to not let that happen so that we can live out our purpose and we can be happy and we can feel lit up. So some things that we might want to avoid when the moon is Sagittarius is restricting our freedom. Okay, we don't want to restrict our freedom. We are free as a bird. We are out there going on adventures. We are exploring. We are doing what lights us up, what fills our cup. We are being the warriors. We want to avoid being careless and avoiding our responsibilities. Yes, this is a time for play, adventure, exploring, but that doesn't mean we get to avoid doing the things that we know we need to do also. And it's also we also want to avoid listening to our limiting beliefs that we have been programmed with. So again, especially when you're thinking about career and purpose and what it is that you want to do, we don't want to go into that planning stage. We don't want to be brainstorming these ideas with a limiting belief holding us, tying us down, saying, no, that will never work. You can never have that. That's crazy. Who's ever done that before? You're never going to be successful. You're not worthy of having these things, blah, 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 blah. Well, we're going to end up brainstorming and we're going to have no ideas left. And or if we do have an idea, we're not going to take action on it because we're going to feel so defeated and we're going to feel like this already isn't working and we haven't even tried. So just avoid those feelings. If they come up, again, remind yourself, hey, the moon's in Sagittarius. Maybe that's why I'm feeling this way a little bit. I'm going to try and tap into this side of the energy instead. Next up, we have Capricorn. So when the moon is in Capricorn, you may feel disciplined, responsible, ambitious, and determined. It's a good day to make a to-do list and get it done. Write it down, do it, take it out, do the action. This energy is so good to get shit done. It's the best get shit done energy we have. So make the longest to-do list, make your to-do list all month long, and then on Capricorn days, get her done. It's a good day to write down your goals and with detailed ways of how to accomplish them. So say, I want to accomplish blah, blah, blah. So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to take step A, B, C, D. Beautiful day to get that done. Very much the energy of Capricorn. It's also a good day to stay grounded and focus on what's important to you. So really tune in to yourself. What do you want to spend your energy on? What is important to you? Because our energy is being pulled constantly in a million thousand different directions. And we want to just sit down, ground ourselves, and focus our energy into a few things, one to a couple different things that we actually want to focus on that's important for us to do right now. So this is very powerful, and I highly encourage you to try. And things that we might want to avoid when the moon is in Capricorn is being pessimistic, especially when it comes to your goals. So we may have these big ideas and feel ambitious and for these big goals that we want to set, but Capricorn can end up being a little pessimistic, thinking, oh, this goal, this is great. Oh, but like, am I ever going to be able to do that? Yes, don't let that pessimistic attitude take you over because it's lying to you. You can do anything you set your mind to. We also want to avoid spending energy on things that are not worth your time. This is why we want to get grounded and focus on one important thing, because it's such a good day, especially to be focused and determined and figure out these certain things. So if we're wasting our energy doing all these other things, it's not going to be worth our time. We're going to be wasting this precious time that we only get once a month. So keep that in mind. And we also want to avoid being frustrated and cold with others. So maybe others are not supporting our goals. Maybe others are annoying us because they have no goals and ambitions. And maybe we end up being a little cold towards them. Capricorns can come off cold. It doesn't mean that they are cold. Sometimes it's just the attitude towards. It's like the frustrated attitude. When you act frustrated towards somebody, it comes off as cold. It's not loving. So just keep that in mind. Next is Aquarius. So when the moon is in Aquarius, you may feel innovative. You may feel extreme, over the top, open-minded, and you also might feel like you want to fix all of the world's problems. Me every single day, because my moon is in Aquarius. It's a good day to create a vision for your work, your life, and how to be innovative and creative in those ways. So Aquarius is all about the innovation, all about the new ways of thinking. So, maybe this is where we come up with ideas to try something new, to go a different way, to think outside the box. It's also a good day to think of others. This energy is very much humanitarian energy. So think about others. How can you serve others? How are you connected to others? How are others affecting in your life? It's also a really good day to try something new, especially something that can open your mind and help you to see the bigger picture of what's happening around you. So try something new. Listen to a new kind of podcast. Read a new kind of book. Have a conversation with a new person. Going into things open-minded, trying something, and just seeing what happens. When the moon is in Aquarius, we might want to avoid believing something is impossible for us to achieve. Some things can seem a little impossible, especially when we're thinking outside the box, when we're trying to be innovative and come up with these new ideas. It can be easy just to be like, oh, that's never going to happen because nobody's done it before. Well, somebody always has to be the first person to do everything. There's always a first person to try anything, to do anything, to be successful in anything. So don't let that energy fool you. You also want to avoid having a my way or the highway mentality. Sometimes we can get into this state of mind where it's like, well, you're not doing this my way, then nope. But again, we want to be open-minded. So this is kind of the opposite reaction that can come from that energy. And we just want to avoid it. We want to say, no, I'm going to try and look at things from your perspective. I'm going to try it your way. And if it doesn't go well, I can always go back to my way, but it's not going to hurt to try and see how that goes. And one last thing that we might want to avoid is being condescending or thinking that you're better than others. Sometimes when we are being a humanitarian or worrying about others or being innovative and trying to come up with all these new ideas, we maybe get a little egotistical and we may end up feeling like, oh, I'm the best, so I'm going to do this. No, and that's not what Aquarius is supposed to be, and that's not what we want to be. But it can happen. So if that comes up and you're feeling a little like, oh, I am the best because I just thought of this idea, just maybe give yourself a little reality check. Like all of our ideas are divinely inspired, so we can't forget that. Okay, last but not least is Pisces. When the moon's in Pisces, we may feel dreamlike, intuitive, empathic, and we may be a little fearful. It's a good day to tap into our creativity and imagination. This energy is all about dreams and illusions. So tap into our imagination, use it for visualizations towards the dreams that we want to have. But it also can help us to see the illusions that are keeping us stuck within our own life. It's also a good day to analyze and pay attention to our dreams, and we can also dive into some really deep meditations which help us because it's very similar to dream state. And the visions and ideas and things that come to us when we're in these states are very much divine and very much can be very, very helpful to us as well. We want to listen to our intuition and tap into your psychic abilities because they are there, and this energy is very, very intuitive, very, very wise. It's the oldest of the signs, and we want to tap into that energy, see what shows up. Get these messages that are coming forward for you because there's probably a lot of information coming forward for you that's going to help you break past these boundaries that you've set for yourself from limiting beliefs. And it's a really good day to tap into your subconscious mind and do some reprogramming because that's perfect for Pisces energy. Some things that we want to avoid: letting our emotions overconsume us. Another water sign, so yes, it can be very emotional. We don't want to give them the power. We want to thank them for what they've taught us, realize what this is showing us, what we can learn, and how we can move on. We also want to avoid a victim mentality. Again, when we're doing this kind of deep work, when we're seeing when these illusions are being unveiled for us and we're starting to see the real truth of what's behind the doors, it can be easy to slide into a victim mentality of like, how dare you have done that to me? You did that to me. That happened to me. But really, it's happening for you. You're becoming enlightened. You're learning. You're seeing all these things because it's helping you to see better. And we all have shit that happens to us. No one's going to go through this life without experiencing trauma. That's just not how it works. So don't play the victim card. Use it as a teaching moment. Use it to help fuel you to teach others and to see the magic of the universe. And even though it's not always technically sunshine and rainbows, it doesn't mean it's not extremely powerful and extremely beneficial to look past that and see the bigger picture. And we also want to avoid emotionally manipulating people. We don't want to convince other people of illusions. We don't want to lie about things and get people's hopes up. We don't want to use these facades to scam people or, make them believe something that isn't true. So don't do that to people. That's mean. We don't like that. We want to be honest and truthful, and we don't need to let our emotions flood into the emotions of others and make them feel overwhelmed and all those things. So that's all for today's episode. That is what you can expect when the moon is in each of these signs. Again, don't feel like you have to plan your entire life around this. I really just like to use it as a tool to help me feel more aware of my emotions and my energy. And I also find that this helps to create a good balance of all things that are energy and that are being cycled through our everyday life, because it kind of touches on almost all sections of life, that if we follow the energy of the moon, then we end up creating a really nice balance within our lives. So yeah, that's all. I hope you guys find that interesting. Again, don't feel like you have to follow this day for day, second by second, but I just find it so interesting and fascinating, and I love the cycles of nature, and I love energy and how it all ebbs and flows, and yeah. Okay, well, I will see you next time. Bye!